All right, we are here again, and this is Crossfire, Channel 196 on Star Times. My name is Dr. Banjo. We're back this morning to bring you a very fresh and interesting episode of your political platform program on Cool TV. I'm not alone in the studio. I have Ishoma Againe with me, and we'll be running the show together as usual. Running it. So let's run it, Ishoma.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Crossfire today.
All right, welcome back. Anyway, with so many activities that took place yesterday concerning the act and the demonstrations and the evolving of a lot of meetings, characterizing and culminating into a major decision that was eventually allowed a level of calmness in both the upper and the lower chamber of the National Assembly yesterday. Don't forget that we brought you on this show, that there is a need for some kind of succor to be achieved, both in the upper and the lower assembly. So that this nation can move forward. And so the senators and the House of Representative members have eventually honored one or two positions, be it that you are pro or you are for or against a particular position. But yesterday there was a compromise, and today we can probably all smile, hoping that the legislators will begin to perform their legislative function and let us move Nigeria forward. The House of Representatives has named Femi Gbajabiamila the majority leader, in a move likely to help calm a house frayed, for weeks by leadership tussle. Mr. Gbajabiamila emerged the All Progressive Congress caucus leader hours after the House leaders met with the leadership of the ruling APC in Abuja. The meeting was at the behest of the President, Muhammadu Buhari. The House has been racked, by leadership tussle since its inauguration in June 9. And Mr. Gbajabiamila, a former minority leader, was pushed for the speakership slot, but narrowly lost to the incumbent Speaker of the House of Representatives, and that's Yakubu Dogara. Anyway, Mr. Dogara's rejection of the party's demand that Mr. Gbajabiamila be given the majority leader position split the House into two fractions, each insisting on its stand for resolving the conflict. Also, Ado Dogua was named Chief Whip and Buba Jibrin Deputy Leader. Pali Rese was named as a Deputy Whip, and then in the same vein, Leo Ogo emerged Minority Leader, and Chukwuma Onyema, Deputy Minority Whip, and Yakubu Umar, the Minority Whip. This, to a very large extent, is saying something louder than the other. Now, there is a voice attached to the mouth, and there is another voice attached to the mind. And so we will be, we'll try as much as possible to discussing on the show which one actually became very prevalent. Is it the voice, the type that comes from the mouth, or the one that is coming from a very deep sense of reasoning and is giving back to a level of peace that the House experienced yesterday? We're not alone in the studio. We have a gentleman who has joined us, and we definitely be running the show, with him. And he's no other person, somebody you know very well. Like I was telling him before we came live on, and I was saying, I don't really sometimes know, where you are and how you are there. But every time I see your haircut, something tells me, yeah, that is the Amuwodo man. Let's welcome, the former local government chairman of the Amuwodo local government, and that is in the person of Adewale Ayodele. It's good to have you on the show. Good to have you on the show. You were here briefly, and we really didn't enjoy, your wealth and depth, of politics as it's been played out today. Now, our platform is a very open and deep and objective and subjective platform. Your opinion counts a great deal. It doesn't matter how anybody takes it, but we try as much as possible to create a balance, on the show. All right, now let's go this route. Let's take one or two, maybe one story making headlines, since we have serious business to do today. Now, you will remember or you will recall that the president approved a certain amount of money running into about 500, maybe half a trillion naira. It was a three-pronged approach to the very financial crisis that state governments found themselves in, and that is to ensure that contractors are paid, part of their monies, if not all. And the one that is really bothering and bugging the mind minds of Nigerians is the outstanding payment of workers that have been on for quite a while. And now, information have it that the money up till now, Central Bank has not released it. And so state governments have not received the money, and so workers are yet to be paid. And the president came out yesterday and he said, Buhari, I'm worried on the non-payment of teachers' salary over the years, over the months, and maybe in some places it's run into years. And so you wonder, where is the problem coming from? We thought that by now, workers, should have succor. By now, they should be smiling. But yet, no money has been paid. In fact, money has not even been released to the state government.
Well, from the standpoint that I understand governance and haven't had the privilege of taking charge at the grassroots level, one thing is for you to approve after getting the approval from the institution that empowers you to sign off such funds. The other thing is for the account structure, the department, as case may be, this time around the Central Bank and the Ministry of Finance, to do what is needful. So I believe that the question should be thrown to the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Finance and of course, the Central Bank Governor to let Nigerians know why the payment is being delayed. Because I know that the paperwork do have some level of bureaucracy. And like what I did when I was in the local government, and I told them whenever I sign off a memo, it should not stay more than it should not stay more than maximum 30 minutes on your table.
Okay. Wow.
As a matter of maximum 30 minutes.
Even if it's just seen, even if it's just to put seen or action.
When the memo is minuted, for instance, in the local government, you have to meet with the council manager. And when he sees your memo, the first thing he will have to look at is if there are other attaching documents to your recommendations. Okay. If those supporting documents are there, or it's just simply an instruction, he meets to the next officer.
Okay, how come we have not seen this played out when the president already issued, an instruction for this money to be paid?
Like I
it's
said,
not that they are thinking, how much did it approve? Yeah. Everything was summed up. Yeah. And they planned it well. It was well structured. It was three-pronged approach. We will give you some money, to pay outstanding salaries. We'll give you some money for your contractors to be able to continue doing the project.
That is from your view.
But could it be that they do not have enough funds also?
No, that is not what happened. That is not how it plays out.
Okay.
It's not how it plays out. Right. It's like you now, you're in this establishment, your own XYZ salary. Okay. You understand? Take, for instance, your own, say, 10 million naira. Okay. And what is available right now is 4 million. You understand? And before the president, he has 4 million to augment the 10 million demands. And he signs out 4 million. Okay. Now, it gets to the account department, and all of you are like 500. So if the account department is well structured, and this is what President Buhari has been doing, to restructure the system and make it functional the way it should be. If it gets to the account department, ordinarily, using the IT systems, what they just need is to prorate it according to the state, in accordance to what is required, in line with percentage. Okay. You understand? Osun State, for instance, needs X, Y, Z. And out of that formula, they could appropriate maybe 15%. It must be done in percentage so that everybody has what is due in accordance to the number of workers or number of requests that are put forward. So if the account department has a deficiency, that is what caused the delay. It is not the president. Okay. And this is the structure that the president have come to inherit. And this is what he's trying to fine-tune. And people say it is slow. To reduce it, you have to fine-tune it to make it. You have to fine-tune it. Look, when I came into the local government, I met a system where people were paid by hand. They were paying them cash by hand. In this time of now, you understand? And I met a structure that had about less than 100 workers. I employed over 800 workers. And I ensure that for every worker, be it casual or whatever, because I have the power to employ casual workers, but I refuse to call them casual. So I call them non-pensionable workers, working industry, hoping that they'll become pensionable workers as we journey on. Okay. So I now call in the banks, you understand? Take the data of all of these workers and enlist them, you understand? So that if we are paying them now, we are paying them directly from our account to their account. And the only thing they see is that alert. They have alert. I guess Korede borrowed it from Amugo. I don't get alert. You understand? And you are paid. So the issue of ghost worker does not arise.
Exactly.
A ghost will not be registered in the bank.
Exactly.
And every month they do verification exercises. And all of that. And the verification result is brought to my table. I look at it, I vet it, I sign it off, and it goes back to the bank to also check what they have. So there is a check system.
Okay. Anyway,
but I have, but I have an issue as regards the story, that because it's more like we have states that are lazy, if I can put it that way, lazy because they do not want to be committed to think. Well, lazy in the sense that if you look at the IGR, many of them are still shouting and complaining, oh, the government, federal government, they've not given us this sum. But you know that there's a limit to how much or how well the federal government can assist them. For example, if the federal government, they said, okay, we're going to give you this particular amount of money, pay off these people. Does that mean every month they will keep crying and going back to the federal government?
It's an entitlement. I mean they're entitled to it. I'm not saying you don't generate. I'm not saying you don't. I mean, you won't say don't generate. I mean,
they should generate.
You see, another very big concern. Let's do an apple for apple. Lagos and Osun State. Osun State, we have been reliably told, have close to 400,000 workers, and they are all civil servants. In Lagos, maybe they have an equal number of civil servants or more, but the genuineness of the Lagos environment is that there are opportunities in Lagos. When I say opportunities, you have the people. You have the people, first of all. You have the environment, secondly. And then you have, a technocrat, maybe the leader, who have foresight and insight, and it's been able to say, okay, these are dimensions that we're going to use to generate more revenue. Now, in a place like Osun State, where you have a total population of 4 million people, and 10% of that population are actually, feeding or largessing. If all of them are actually verified to be permanent workers of the state, about 10% of the strength of that economy are actually government workers. And so the recurrent expenditure in a place like Osun State is going to be definitely more, especially when you are not generating internally, than a place like Lagos that has, probably built institutions and then do a lot of things to ensure that they bring in more money to be able to take care of a lot of other issues. So maybe some states are more advantaged in terms of the,
I think it's more about creativity here. Because if you look at, for example, Osun is I can call it an agricultural state. You have that, they're known for agriculture also. Now, if you look at the northern part of the country also, those states, for example, you have vehicles that come in there to pick up agricultural produce and all of that.
The agri-sector is
taxation is lacking, I know, but
there are so many things that are not in place.
There are so many things that are not in place.
Preservation arrangements, so many things.
Who go there to buy. These people can pay a particular tax
Hold on. I appreciate what you've put forward on the table.
Maybe you should answer this question, comrade. No, maybe the question you ask is that why do you think some states do not have internally generated revenues, the type that can sustain their
model that for the people?
Now, the reality is this. You have only spoken from the standpoint of theory.
Okay.
Now, the reality is this. You see, the first work of government is to provide security. Gainful employment is part of security and all of that. True. And you must also appreciate that the way our government is structured here is federalistic. And under a federalistic system of government, you have the confederation coming together to operate in a federal arrangement. But we are not practicing it as it should be in Nigeria. Now, there are some level of independence that the state should have that the federal is holding on to. And because of that kind of nature, the federal also is holding on to too much funds that should be given to the state.
Okay.
That is their rights. And it's not given. You understand? Now, aside from that, there are authorities that the state should exhibit that the federal is not allowing them to. There are territories that the federal should not even encroach on, that they are encroaching on, that limit the resources of the state. Lagos is not even working to capacity in terms of government structure the way it should be. If Lagos is given its entitlement in terms of structural applications, Lagos will be, working like Singapore,
Yeah,
Taiwan, and even London. You understand? If Lagos is allowed to control the tax at the port, if Lagos is allowed to have its own police for enforcement, you understand?
Yeah.
All of these things that you're talking about would have been history. There is no state in Nigeria that does not have what it takes to survive.
I think we're naturally blessed.
Nigeria
is naturally blessed that almost every state has something that it can use to sustain.
It's about structure. Now, taking it down to Osun, you must give so many credit to the governor.
We do.
The governor was one of the first to implement the wage, the new wage system across board. Not just minimum wage, across board. Now, in doing that, he was also very quick to set out infrastructure. And without a well laid out infrastructure, you cannot have development. Even if you keep giving them money, it will only go to recurrent. It is the infrastructure that will permeate more opportunities to come in. It is the infrastructure that will hold on to all the weight that the recurrent expenditure is burdened down on the state. And without infrastructure, the state cannot develop. And that is what the government
And the government is not doing as much, in the area of building infrastructures, the type that can sustain every state.
In Osun State.
No, I mean generally.
That was what was lacking in the past.
Now they are.
That is what created the problems, structural problem that we have in Nigeria, even down to the insurgency. Because with infrastructure, you are going to create jobs. Investors will come in.
You will educate.
People will get engaged. We don't even have enough workers in Nigeria to tackle all of our problems. We don't have enough. If everything is working the way it should work, in fact, your population should be your strength of productivity.
Because we are not taking advantage of the fact that we have the people. I said it earlier.
Look at the country like
India.
No, I'm not even going to India.
China?
Not even China. In the Middle East now. Qatar. Do you know Qatar is getting more expatriates
very
from
small.
all over the world to help develop their country?
Very small island.
The Qatarians are not even enough
They're not much
to tackle their problems. So those are the issues.
So they want
you need to invest in education, invest in infrastructure.
Technical skills.
Is a part of education.
Yes. All right.
Even for reorientation is education. You understand?
Yeah.
Building a new mindset and culture is education from the foundation.
All right. Very interesting there. We will stop on that note and then we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be focusing on the very main, thrust of our conversation today on Crossfire. And that's talking about how it has played out, in the National Assembly as they reconvened yesterday. What is the way forward? Are we moving forward or we're still in one position or we have a tendency of going backward? We'll be right back.
There's no place for going backward.
Okay,
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.